Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's a long day for the conference. I hope you still have some energy to listen to my presentation. So I'm Ella, the head of Easy Labs, formerly Binance Labs. I'm very happy to come back. I stand here 7 years ago. The stage feels familiar. So I came from traditional finance background. I started venture investing 15 years ago at Kleiner Perkins. After my work from Google, one of the most successful technology companies, I followed the legendary investors, Mary Meeker, Zhang. They teach me a lot in investing. In traditional venture investing, normally the investment takes on average 8 to 12 years to exit. That's every venture capitalist is bet for a home run. So after I graduated from business school at Stanford in 2017, I joined Binance, established Binance Labs, back then with the mission to help and incubate blockchain and crypto ecosystem to grow. Probably everyone here knows that the life cycle of crypto projects is relatively shorter, and investors' expectation of investment and get the return back is much shorter. Some investors extremely want to get investment back in 6 to 12 months. However, in the past 7 years at Binance Labs and now Easy Labs, our approach never changed. So today I want to share how our long-term principle work through the cycles and in the crypto industry. And I want to discuss some opportunities we see here and share with you some of our principles. So some fact sheet here. So Easy Labs, we are extremely long-term. We don't have internal LPs, so we don't have the stress to have to distribute money back to LPs. And we are impact first, which doesn't mean that we don't care about the investment return. It simply means that we believe impact making, which is very aligned with today's conference, that we believe when you get the adoption, you're making impact, the returns will follow by nature, naturally. And we're taking a very hands-on approach to investing. Since Easy Labs, the majority of the money comes from the founder of Binance, I myself been in founder shoes for several years, building 2 AI startup companies. We actually invest in founders from the founder perspective. We grow with the founders. We have the empathy to understand the founders' ups and downs. And also, that's very important, is we optimize for the human society, for the humanity. We don't like to compete on hot deals. We bet the very bold ideas someone else don't want to bet on. And simply for those hardest deals, CZ's philosophy is that those problems already been taken care by many people, enough sufficient capital, we don't need to. Instead, we try to find those hidden gems. For the professor in Israel, they're taking the stem cells to create the organs to save people's life. We like to bet recent investment like Canton chain. The founder is underwater for over 10, 11 years. The founder started to build Canton chain even before Ethereum came to life. They're solving the institutional adoption of blockchain technology. Come to some quantitative numbers. In the past 7 years, we made over 300 investments, and there are 59 exits, also 51 write-offs. There's a lot of failures, but we welcome founders to come back to build with us. So far, so good. Our MOIC is 12.5x and DPI 9.5x. So I want to share is that long-term investing in crypto is still working, and it worked relatively well. So I want to borrow this quote, my favorite quote by Mustafa, the co-founder of DeepMind, in his new book, The Coming Waves. Because as investor, every day we're thinking, what's the next big thing? Where should I allocate my capital, and where should I allocate my time? So here is we're very lucky to stand at a point in history that we have never met. None of us are prepared, and we're approaching a critical threshold in the history of our species. Everything is about to change. Soon, you will live in an economy surrounded by robotics, just from the last speaker. Operate your business and run government services. And you will live in a world with DNA printer and quantum computers, engineered pathogens and autonomous weapons, robots assistants and abundant energy. So this is a historical moment why we renamed Binance Labs early this year into Easy Labs to bring our investment focus beyond Web3 to AI and biotech. Here is why we are investing in these three areas. I drew this picture through the inspiration of Jason Huang's 3 stage of scaling law in AI, with pre-training, post-training, and referencing. So our stage at Easy Labs of investing in the 3 areas, AGI, basically we believe is changing the nature of human labor. It's building the smarter automated thoughts and method and labors to serve human beings, to work with human beings. And we invest in crypto and Web3 because it's democratized the ownership, the relationship of how people working with each other. It basically change the relationship between creators, users, and owners. And eventually, everybody, what we care in the end of the day is a healthier, happier, longer life. That's where we're spending our time investing in those biotech innovations. So here is a quick stack of what we look into AI. We look into the foundation layer, the computing layer, and research, and the different developer tools in AI, and vertical AI solutions for enterprise and agents. I don't have time to cover all of them today, but happy to trade notes with the investors and whoever interested in this AI area. Also, robotics is where we spend significant time, where we want to identify the next $100 trillion market. But our belief and vision is that in the future, anything that moves and any shape, they will be robotics. And all the robotics will serve you, be your assistant, managing your life, and help you trade, help you buy things through your crypto wallet. So other than invest in pure AI, pure biotech companies and startups, we're particularly interested in the intersection of AI, biotech, and Web3. For example, AI and Web3, there are many unsolved problems can be addressed by the technology combined together. The decentralized, we see project building decentralized computation layer and the data ownership and the monetization, the on-chain autonomous agent, and people are using AI to increase the security on-chain and do the smart contract auditing. And also, in the intersection between biotech and AI, AI is already addressing a lot of biotech problems. Doctors are using AI to improve the scanning accuracy and for pathology to accurately deliver the drugs. And for drug discovery, traditional method will use 10 years for clinical trials and 1 billion at least to launch one drug. AI significantly shorten the time and lower the cost. However, there's problems because in AI training, the models were lack of data. And where are the data? The data, the patient data today stuck silos. They are stuck in the clinics, in the hospital, in the private labs, and they stuck in different traditional forms like the PDFs and different papers. So how do we leverage the intersection of the biotech and blockchain to solve the problem? It's actually a perfect solution because nowadays patient can share with your biomarker, your data, with an on-chain platform without disclose your privacy. And there's also a lot of bio projects are raising funding to help their innovations move forward. And those are the areas very, very interesting, and we're spending a lot of time. And today, I want to discuss one example, which is a buzzword today at the conference, the DAT. And we use this example to show you how, from investors' perspective, we're building something and investing something really long-term, why this is worth our time and capital to invest in. So BNB DAT, digital asset treasury, in a sense, it's a BNB as for MicroStrategy. Everyone probably knows MicroStrategy, right? It's a software company. It started to buy Bitcoin since 2020. Since 2020, they announced the first purchase of the Bitcoin. 4 years later, this company reached 100 billion market cap. And this business is very beautiful, driven by two drivers. One is NAV, which is the net asset value. Another one is MNAV, which is a multiple on top of the net asset value. And we believe BNB is very undervalued asset. And today, after the mass adoption of retail investors, it's at an inflection point for institutional adoption. And here is why. So the first drive of BNB NAV is similar. The second of the MNAV is similar to MicroStrategy. There are the two key components of the drivers. However, the more beautiful thing of BNB DAT is that it have the high holding yields, which bring you 15 to 20% of the APY, which can be distributed as a dividend. And also, it's a deflationary supply, where its double burn mechanism will eventually reduce the BNB supply chain, the supply of to 100 million BNB. I will touch on the full aspect of how we evaluate and eventually build the accumulated value. So first of all, the NAV, the net asset value, is driven by the intrinsic value of the asset. So if you purely look at BNB today, it's number 4 by market cap among all the cryptocurrencies. And it's the only asset actually resistant through 3 cycles and outperform BTC and Ethereum. The reason is because it's driven by a robust ecosystem behind. So this chart is priced indexed. We rebased back to 100. And you can see the yellow line here represents BNB. So BNB is actually the only token actually funded by the ecosystem across CeFi to DeFi. You can see in this is just a snapshot of a few applications in the BNB ecosystem. There's actually thousands of dApps in application. There's Binance and BNB chain. Listed out, it's a lending protocol. PancakeSwap is one of the biggest DEX. And CoinMarketCap is the #1 crypto analytics platform. And Trust Wallet have over 200 million of wallet of crypto users. And Aster, I heard some of the investors, they mentioned Aster, and they're very scared that the CZ is pushing this on fire. So accumulately, this ecosystem have almost 500 million of crypto users in this ecosystem. This together is driven, can afford the intrinsic value. And also some excitement recently, the Binance Alpha driven the BNB chain DEX surge to over 72% of market share. Can see the yellow ones at the recent few months. And also, thanks to Genius Act, passed the US law the middle of this year, which bring stablecoin to the mainstream. And it's definitely a milestone of entire crypto industry. However, if you look at the Binance chain, it has started to build towards today, 5 years ago. It's pushing for stablecoin payments and the real-world assets, the stablecoin adoption, and the tokenized RWA. And by today, you can see the yellow bar is stablecoin wallet on BNB chain, which take a significant market share and definitely leading the growth. This is how vibrant the ecosystem is. And BNB ecosystem is essentially by nature, it's the largest asset issuance pipeline because it creates, this chart shows that how many assets, which actually excluded the assets are small cap, but only focus on the mid to long-term cap, which distributed in those ecosystems globally because it's have the closed loop of issuance, adoption, and also trading. And also the flywheels of this ecosystem, where BNB chain essentially is an infrastructure for builders and founders and innovators to build the product on it. And then Easy Labs here is to, and with our venture partners in the ecosystem, a lot of investors, we're incubating those projects and investing in them, help them to grow to the next level. And essentially, the exchanges include the centralized exchange and DEXs. Accumulately, you see we have 500 million of the users will together naturally become the go-to-market channel for those innovations and projects. Provide them the liquidity, the go-to-market channel, and user adoption. So this is a flywheel for BNB ecosystem to become the asset issuance ecosystem. Second, the MNAV, we talk about it, how to calculate. This is the beauty of the DAT business, the DAT business. So this is a comparison on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So if you buy one BNB, if the MNAV is 2, so you're thinking about why I'm paying one BNB's price to get 0.5 of BNB. But you see the drivers here is depend on the Treasury company's acceleration to buy more Treasury, which is the G. According to MicroStrategy, the last year, G equal to 0.6 and 7. So if you, and T is a year. So if you use 1.5 times 1.5, which is 2.25. And 2 years later, today you're paying 1 BNB's price to own 1.1 BNB 2 years later. And also the K is the price, the current price divided by the NAV, which means the market is irrational. Like yesterday, our first BNC company, because of the share release, it's down. There's some companies are shorting it. It's actually very good opportunity for long-term holders to buy more Treasury and for the company to buy more Treasury because the K is less than 1. And all those combined together, you invest in DAT company actually give the leverage to hold BNB directly. This is the beauty. And the third one is a high holding yield, which give you the BNB holder, the DAT holder, 15 to 20% APY, which can eventually become the dividend to distribute to the investors. And those APY was supported by the whole vibrant BNB ecosystem listed on the right-hand side. And again, last, this is deflationary supply. Can see historically, every quarter, where BNB ecosystem is burning by two mechanisms. Quarterly burning, it's driven by the algorithm, by the price of BNB and the block produced on BNB chain. And also driven by the real-time burning. By every transaction, we are burning the portion of the gas fee. Never missed one quarter. So there are accumulatedly 62 million of BNB being burned. By today's price, BNB price, it's over 62 billion of USD being burned. People may ask why CZ is doing so, burning so much money, because that's commitment. So according to CZ, he joked about it after his jail time. He said, I may originally retired, but because we launched the BNB, I have to be responsible for BNB holders. To his definition, the BNB's success is not about its price. It's about how many people we can eventually help through the community. So this is also what inspired us. The mission and vision of BNB ecosystem is to become a true decentralized, most efficient global financial ecosystem. And Easy Labs is here. We are driven by incubate, invest, and making impact. Thank you all.